Are you sure your Nikon Z camera is actually the problem, or is it quietly watching you make the same mistakes over and over again? Because I'll tell you this, the Nikon Z system is capable of absolutely stunning results. Razor sharp photos, beautiful video, autofocus that can lock onto an eye like a heat-seeking missile. And yet, I see so many Z shooters frustrated, convinced something is wrong with their camera, when the real issue is one tiny setting that's working against them. If you've ever looked at your images and thought, this should be better, stick around. Because today I'm breaking down 6 Nikon Z mistakes I see constantly, and every single one has an easy fix. Hi. Joe here from Shutter Speak Photography. It's very nice to see your smiling face again here on YouTube. If you're new around here, quick background so you know where this advice is coming from. I've photographed the National Hockey League, major New York City concerts, pop culture events, weddings, families, real estate, and more. My work's been published in newspapers and magazines and even ended up printed on a concert t-shirt. So when I talk about these mistakes, I'm not judging. I've made every single one of them myself. If you shoot Nikon Z, whether you just switched from DSLR or you've been mirrorless for years, consider subscribing, especially if you want practical, real-world tips that help you stop wasting money on gear that doesn't actually fit how you shoot. Everything we're talking about today shows up in real use. Portraits, real estate interiors, events, street photography, and video. These aren't lab tests or spec sheet problems. These are everyday shooting habits that quietly sabotage your results. And the fix is usually a single adjustment. Let's start with mistake number 1. Leaving your controls at factory defaults. Out of the box, your Nikon Z camera is set up to be polite, safe, neutral. It's designed to offend absolutely no one, and that's the problem. Nikon builds these cameras to work for as many people as possible right out of the box. But you're not most people. You shoot a certain way. You react to moments in a certain way, and the Z system is meant to be customized. That's not optional. That's the whole point. Leaving the controls untouched is like buying a tailored suit and never getting it fitted. Sure, it technically works, but it never feels right. Go into the custom settings menu and assign the buttons you actually use. ISO, AF area mode, IAF, exposure lock, whatever you reach for constantly should be under your fingers without thinking. Once you do that, the camera stops feeling like a machine and starts feeling like an extension of your hand. You shoot faster, you react faster, and you stop missing shots because you're buried in menus. Mistake number 2, using completely wrong video settings. This one hurts because I see it all the time. If you're shooting 24p video with a 1/500th shutter speed, your footage is going to look jittery and harsh no matter how expensive your camera is. That's not cinematic. That's security camera chic. The fix is simple. Follow the 180-degree shutter rule. Your shutter speed should be roughly double your frame rate. Shooting at 24 frames per second, use 1/50th. Shooting at 30p, use 1/60th. Shooting 60p, or maybe you want to slow down slow motion later, use 1/120th. That pairing creates natural motion blur, the kind our eyes expect. When your shutter speed is too high, motion looks choppy and unnatural, even if everything is technically sharp. And while we're here, turn off Auto ISO for video. Auto ISO loves to help by changing exposure mid-clip, but when lighting shifts slightly, the result is visible brightness pumping That's a nightmare to fix later. Set your ISO manually, lock your exposure. Your footage will instantly look more professional. Mistake number 3, not setting up stabilization properly. Nikon Z cameras give you serious stabilization tools, but only if you tell them what they're working with. If you're using a Z lens with VR, make sure VR is turned on and IBIS is enabled in camera. The system is designed to work together. If your lens doesn't have VR, no problem. IBIS handles it just fine. Where people get tripped up is with manual lenses. Vintage F-mount glass, Laowa adapted lenses, IBIS can still work beautifully, but only if you enter the focal length in the non-CPU lens data menu. If you don't, IBIS doesn't know how to compensate, so it effectively does nothing. Stabilization is free performance. It lets you shoot handheld at slower shutter speeds, keeps video smoother, and saves shots you would have otherwise lost. Turning it off or not setting it correctly is like buying a tripod and leaving it in the car. Mistake number 4, shooting JPEG only. I know why people do it. JPEGs are convenient. They're small, they're shareable, and Nikon's JPEGs actually look pretty good straight out of the camera. But JPEGs are a finished product. The camera decides your white balance, contrast, sharpening, and color, then throws away the extra data. Once it's saved, that's it. RAW files are digital negatives. They preserve everything the sensor captured. That means you can recover highlights, lift shadows, fix white balance, and fine-tune color without the image falling apart. If you've ever tried to fix a badly lit JPEG and watched it turn into a noisy, crunchy mess, that's why. Yes, RAW files are bigger. Yes, they require editing, but they also give you control. And control is the difference between good enough and exactly what I wanted. Mistake number 5, letting auto ISO run wild. Auto ISO is fantastic when you put boundaries on it. Left unchecked, your camera will happily crank ISO into the stratosphere just to protect shutter speed. And you might not notice the damage until you're editing later and wondering why your image looks like it was shot in a snowstorm. Set a maximum ISO limit. For most Nikon Z bodies, ISO 3200 is a solid ceiling for clean results, depending on the camera and of course your tolerance for noise. Even more important, set a minimum shutter speed. This tells the camera, don't drop below this point. Raise ISO instead. It's especially useful for handheld shooting and moving subjects. Auto ISO should work for you, not against you. Think of it like cruise control. Great on the highway, dangerous if you let it drive the car. Mistake number 6, using the wrong focus mode. Autofocus is one of the biggest advantages of the Nikon Z system, but only if you choose the right tool for the job. AFS is perfect for still subjects, landscapes, architecture, product shots, but the moment your subject moves, AFS becomes a liability. AFC is your best friend for anything alive. People, kids, pets, events, street photography, birds. The camera continuously updates focus as your subject moves. And once you get comfortable with it, you'll wonder why you ever used anything else. And then there's eye detection AF. It's incredible, but it's not magic. You need the right AF area mode, and you need to know when auto area AF makes sense versus wide area AF for more control. Once you map focus modes to a custom button and practice switching on the fly, your hit rate skyrockets. So no, these aren't deal breakers, but fix them. And suddenly your Z6, your Z7, your Z8, or your Z52 starts performing the way you expected when you bought it. Would I follow these fixes myself? Well, I already do. They're baked into my daily workflow. If this helped you out, give it a like, subscribe for more Nikon Z tips, and drop a comment below. I'd love to know which Nikon Z mistake did you fix most recently. And don't forget to join me in the Nikon Z Facebook group. Links in the comments. We're a friendly group, mostly, unless you shoot JPEG only. Thanks for watching. I genuinely appreciate you being here. Catch you next time, and as always, shoot sharp.